This is going to be a bit of a different video. Unfortunately, I pressed Alt so you can't see my screen, but there, let me fix that. This is going to be a bit of a different video. It's a talking video, but about something more. It's more about something that a lot of people will struggle to understand. A lot of people will struggle to understand it. Mainly females, but also a lot of males too. Currently, males are being neglected. And it might not seem like it is because a lot of males act like they're good and they're happy and everything, but it's not so simple. And yes, a male might say they're happy and they might act like they're happy and they might even feel like they're happy, but doesn't mean that's actually what they deserve. And what they're getting is actually what they deserve. In this video, I want to talk about something that happened recently, and it's interesting to think about. It's very interesting. It upset me. And not because this is simply one time I've seen this or I'm simply weak. It upset me because I've been dealing with this for years with these females that don't try to do anything for a male and they want the male to do everything. They want the male not to do everything but to actually appeal to them. They want the male to appeal to them in a submission type of way. And I'm not talking about for one specific female, I'm talking about for every female. Most females, not every single female is like this, but most females are. And males deserve better than this. If a female does not like one thing about you or you say something that is simply not to their standards, they don't care anymore. You're not interesting to them, you're not potential to be interesting to them. And they don't care. They do whatever they want, they act however they want, and they treat you however they want. It's so stupid. It shouldn't be like this. It doesn't need to be like this. Why is it so that males have to appeal to females? Why is it not that a female has to appeal to a male? Of course, I understand somewhat of females wanting males to appeal to them or to do things for them to show that they're the better option. But when a female doesn't let you even do that because of whatever stupid reason, then that ruins everything. It ruins the whole purpose of trying to be the best. The whole purpose of showing a female you're the best. If they don't even give you the chance to show you're the best because of they don't like how you are, that you don't fit their personality or whatever they believe in. And it's simply a societal weakness from all these weak females that have their weak female friends empowering them. And it's very disappointing and sad that it's not important how you act or how neutral you are. Or how good you actually are. It's only important about that the female agrees and the female sees what they want to see. And that's simply not how males work. Males don't simply show every single thing immediately. Or, well, I wouldn't say every single thing immediately. Males don't. I'm talking about the correct way of a male, not the current way of a male. Current ways of males are simply that they appeal to the female and do whatever they want, basically. That's the current way of a male. I've seen it countless times. Every time there's a female in Overwatch, in custom games, the males simply will not reject them. And they will actually even give them more attention if they want it. If they are acting and trying to get more attention, they will give it. I've seen it countless times. And one of the main reasons people even stay in custom games, males even stay in custom games, is for the females. If there's a female, it simply makes things more interesting. I'm not simply talking about myself. Of course, I like females too, but I don't appeal to them like they do. And yes, I'm making this video simply to say what is correct. And even though I don't have much people listening currently, it's still worth it to say these things. It's still correct. Because otherwise, I wouldn't be trying to do what's correct. I wouldn't be doing what's correct. And of course, I could go say these things to some maybe more powerful people that could actually do some things about it, but I don't care about that. That would mean I'd have to potentially go somewhere that I shouldn't be and talk to someone I shouldn't be talking to. But currently, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm talking to the recording. And whoever hears this will know. But like I was saying, every time I go into a custom game, if there's a female, they're most likely controlling the way the custom game goes in a way, because what they do is, especially if they're talking in the voice chat or something like that, and a bunch of males are there, then they'll probably be the main point of attention, and a lot of people will be a lot of males at least will be talking to them. Of course, if there's other females, then obviously there's going to be a bit of overlap. But if there's only one female, then that one female will be a very highly focused person. Not because they're interesting, not because they have great intelligence or that they're an amazing person, but because they're a female. And what I've also noticed is that females can say more than they should. They can say more than they should be able to. They can do more than they should be able to, and they can act differently than how they should be able to. For example, recently I went to a few custom games and I heard females talking about how they hate men. They hate all men. They're saying, "I hate all men, and men are disgusting. Men are terrible." Of course, they didn't say it exactly like that, but they were insinuating a lot of things, and they did say some of those things too. I don't like I can't show you evidence, but I mean I didn't record it, so but it's true. Why would I even be making this video if I'm trying to lie? That makes zero sense. If I was lying now, then it would completely disregard this entire video. So I wouldn't even be making it then. There's no point to making a video like this if I lie. There's no reason because then everything I'm saying is useless. It makes no difference if it's based on a lie, but it's not. I went to custom games and I heard females talking about how they hate men. Like, and you know what? What's interesting is that not a single male said anything in the voice chat about it. They didn't say anything. And even some gay males I've heard, they were talking about how, yes, they hate males too and they suck. Males suck, even though they're a male too, but they're gay. What needs to happen, it's very simple, is that females need to learn their place and males need to become more dominant again and stop giving these females so many chances to say such stupid things and to act so stupidly. It is complicated to actually get a solution for this because of the fact that there will still be some hopes for the female potentially to find that person that is simply submissive and appeals to them. But if most males understand what is actually correct, then those other males will align themselves. What we really need to do about females is we need to stop letting them act so intelligent. And we need to dominate them more. Especially if they act like they're dominant, act like they're in control. They need to be dominated the most. Those types of females need to be dominated the most because they are the problem. If other females see that another female has won a fight versus a male when they shouldn't have won, then that other female might learn from that and act like that. And those females that do the most. Those are the ones that are most problematic. They're the most dangerous for what is correct. And do not think I think all females are bad in any way. I do not think all females are bad, and I don't even hate females. I like females a lot, but the fact is that they're not thinking correctly. They're not doing what's correct for males, and they're really not treating males how they deserve to be treated. And also, if you skip this part and go straight to the next part to try to act like I'm an idiot, then you're the actual idiot. Because I will be showing some messages I had with someone to explain what started this, but also to give you more information. Also, I wrote something when I was upset and I wanted to save my thoughts. So I have a note called Things to Talk About for Males Deserve Better video. And then the first thing I have, the only thing I have, is I am only doing this for the better of males. You shouldn't insult me or get annoyed at me if you are a male, even if you disagree with what I am saying, because I am doing this for myself and for other males because we deserve better. If you are a female and you don't have something positive to say, then you shouldn't say anything. You do not understand and you're not motivated to understand because you're not a male. And you probably only care about what you want and not what is correct, like most females do. So you really shouldn't say anything negative. You are the gender getting more of what you deserve than males because males have been trying to please females for so long. So you talking negatively shows how stupid you are to my overall message and reason for making this video. It is not to show females I am the best. It is to get what I deserve and also to give females and males what they deserve too. Speaking negatively about that will only show how stupid and pathetic you are and how you're actually part of the problem. Like I said, it's an interesting topic. Not because what I'm saying now is perfect or that it's perfectly correct, but there is a problem. And you should not speak negatively about me trying to fix the problem because that is not negative. If there was not a problem, then there should not be a reason for me doing this. And you could say the problem is me, but then why am I the problem then? That's the better question. If the problem is me, then why am I the better the problem? Why am I the problem then? That is the question then. And the answer would be because of society. That's the only answer. So, what that means is that there's a problem with others. So it means there's a problem with others either way. So even if you disagree with what I'm saying, there's always going to be a problem with society. But you shouldn't disagree with what I'm saying because the fact is I did nothing wrong. to get what I deserve, get what I got, to get what recently happened with a female I talked to. Of course, you may say, there's more fish in the sea. It was only one person, it was only one female. I told you this already, but I've had this happen to me too many times. I'm quite tired of it. So that's the reason I'm making this video. Even if no one hears this, I don't care. At least I made the video. That's the whole purpose. I want to simply do what is correct and to also have my thoughts saved somewhere, because in the future I can come back to this and look at what I said, and also others can too. I do not think I'm a bad person, and I know I'm not a bad person. If you think I am a bad person, then you are wrong. There's zero evidence to show I'm a bad person, and the only evidence you have is your opinion and your feelings and your preferences. So, let's look at the messages. Can you see these? Yes, you can. Good. These are the messages. So this conversation started, and yes, I am going to show their name because they deserve it. So let's look. Let's look. You probably already are reading this, but I would suggest not to read too much. I want to read it with you. So I can explain my thought process and talk to you about it. And you can talk to me about it too, basically in the comments or in your head. So what happened was there was a custom game on Overwatch called, what was it called? I'm trying to remember the exact name. It was about wanting friends. I don't remember the exact name, but it was about wanting friends. They said that they wanted friends or needed friends. Something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was like that. It was about friends and trying to find friends. So I joined, and I was interested to potentially be their friend. It was two females. So the first female that actually created the server, I sent them a friend request, didn't even accept it. The second female, I sent them a friend request, they did accept it, and this is them. So here's what happened. They accepted the friend request, and I thought they want friends, so maybe they're lonely, maybe they're wanting a good person to play with and to be with. So I want to show myself. I want to show I am actually that good person that they might be seeking. And then, so I said, I'm here for you. If you're lonely or if you want someone else to play with, I would like to be the person you choose. There's nothing wrong with this message. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this message. The only thing wrong with this message is what you prefer, what your preferences are. And that's what females don't understand, is that your preferences don't mean that you're actually correct or that you should leave or be uncomfortable with me. Your preferences do not make you correct. And your preferences do not mean you can simply treat other males like this and expect to find that one that does whatever you want and is submissive and is weak like you are. The only reason you think that way is because there is weak males. And there is ones that will fit your preferences. But I sent one message, and they didn't say anything back. They actually said that, "Look at what I got. Look what message I got sent," and they showed it to their friend, the person, the female that was I sent the other friend request to, the first friend request. And I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything else. I didn't do a single thing else. I sat there doing nothing in the game except basically waiting for them to try to get my attention more or to for them to notice me more. And they did. At least the other female. They did. This female did not, but the other female did, which was interesting because they weren't doing anything before that. So what that means is that they showed the message to their friend. Oh, why is that? Because it's either because they thought it was a good message or because they thought it was a bad message. And which one do you think it was? Because basically what happened was that other female was a bit interested in me. They kept doing things with me. They were teleporting me to places. They were making me look at them. Of course, it wasn't like amazing things. It wasn't huge things. They were doing minor things. But that didn't happen before I sent them this message. And also, I was talking to them a little bit, a very little though. I was talking to them very little, and also about nothing like crazy, nothing exceptional, nothing mind blowing. I was talking to them about how good they are at Overwatch, and I was asking them why they were teleporting me, and I also laughed a few times. I think no, I laughed one time. I laughed one time because of them making me face towards them. I didn't say anything special. I didn't say anything so that they could so like this is a very perfect example of what I'm talking about. And that's the reason I'm making this video is because they didn't have a good reason to remove me. Because that's exactly what they did later. So, of course I'm going to get to that, but they removed me. So basically what happened is after some time of me talking to them in the chat, and we barely talked about anything, like I said, we barely talked about anything, and I basically said, I asked both of them, both of the females, would they like to fight me to test my skill? That's all I did. And I was talking to them about how I could be a good friend for them because of me being a good player. That's what I said. And I'm thinking now, don't think I'm thinking now to make lies. I'm not thinking now to make lies. I'm thinking now to try to say exactly what I actually said. Because I don't remember everything I said. I don't remember every specific word for what I said. I don't. But that's the reason I'm thinking to summarize, basically to tell you what in summary what I actually said. But the fact is, because of their preferences, they didn't even give me the chance. They didn't even give me the chance. They didn't even say they appreciate what I said to them. They didn't say anything. They said nothing to me. I said, "I'm here for you if you're lonely or if you want someone else to play with. I would like to be the person you choose." They said nothing. And you can see the time between these two messages. 30 minutes. In that period of time, I was talking a little bit, not a lot. I wasn't talking a lot. I barely said anything. I really did. I barely said anything. I barely talked because, like I said, I was doing nothing and waiting for them to notice me or to give me their attention. I really only talked when it was correct to. When I saw what they were thinking about, and when I saw, but I heard what they were thinking about, and they were wanting someone to play with, and I mainly talked about that, and also I talked a little bit about fighting them. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. Because it's important, because you might think that's the key thing here. That's the key thing. That's why they removed me, because I said something in voice chat that's bad. I said it horrendously. I understand that. That's the reason I'm saying this. That's the reason I'm trying to think. I asked why they were teleporting me. I think I already said that though. And then I asked why they want me up there. And then I said, what if I like being away from everyone? And they kept teleporting me up. They kept teleporting me up. So I stayed because I want to please the female. Of course, I want to entertain her. I want to give her some reward for wanting my attention. Because all these females are so incredibly weak. They need all these rewards. They not need it, but they want all these rewards. They want all these things from males when they give nothing back. Okay, so what happened after that was I stayed up there for a bit. Basically, nothing happened. Nothing. I didn't say a single thing after that. And I stood up there for a bit looking at the ocean. Looking at the ocean in Overwatch. Then after a bit, I saw that no one was with me anymore. I went back to where I was before and relaxed. Then the map changed. We went to a different map. Route 66. We went to Route 66. I stayed in my spot. Found a spot. Stayed in there, relaxed. They were definitely interested in me. I could tell because they were definitely next to me quite a bit. Like they were playing around my area. They weren't simply like looking straight in my face or trying to get my attention, but they were in my area after the message I sent and also how I was talking to them a bit. So they were interested in me, even if it was a very small amount. They were interested in me. I'm trying to remember, did I say anything before talking about the fighting? I asked this female here, this female in this chat you see here. I asked if they wanted to fight me because I wanted to try to see how good they were at Overwatch, and because they were talking about, I asked them the reason. I think that's what I did before. I asked them the reason. Okay, so that's what I did before. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, I remember. Before the map changed, I actually sent a message in the chat because I didn't feel like talking with my voice, and there was a few people talking in the voice chat. I didn't want to start talking, so I sent it in the chat. I asked, "What is the reason?" I didn't ask this specifically. Let me remember. No, I didn't ask it specifically like this. That's what I was going to say, but I said basically, "Why do you want friends? Why do you want?" I didn't say this specifically. I don't think I said this specifically, but I basically said, "Why do you want friends?" I was talking to the person that created the custom game, the original person I sent a friend request to, and they said it was to play competitive. It was to play competitive. It was to play ranked. I think they might have used the word ranked, and how they were platinum or something like that, and they wanted help, or they wanted, I don't know, they might have said more than that. I don't remember exactly. But that's what happened before we switched the map. I asked him that question, and that was what led to me asking about fighting them. Because I said some things about how I could be. I don't know, did I say this before or after I asked about fighting? It was before. I said I could help them with that, basically. Like I said, I don't remember exactly what I said. I don't remember if this was before or after. I think it was before, though. But then, no, I wouldn't. Why would I say it before if I asked it in the chat? If I asked it in the chat, why would I even say it? Ay, I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused about what was said between when I asked the question about fighting them and between when I asked them in the chat what was the reason for them wanting friends. I don't remember. I don't know if I said anything. I feel like I did, though. And we're still talking about staying on subject here. And that's why I said I didn't say anything that was wrong, or saying anything that was not correct, or I was staying on subject. That's basically what I meant by that. I was staying on subject. I was staying focused on the subject, which was wanting friends. And also the subject of the reason for wanting friends and what intentions you have. I'll say this. I may have said this. I may have said I could have helped them with that. I could help them with that. And that I was a good player. I may have said that. I feel like I did. I feel like I did. So I'll say I did. I'll say I did. Yeah, that's basically what I did. I'll say that I did. So I said that in between those 2 points. And I said I could help them. I said I could help them with that. I didn't say this specifically, like I said, I'm still summarizing. But I said I could help them, and I was a good player. And then I relaxed for some time, and then I asked this female here that's showing in this chat if they wanted to fight me. And they asked, fighting, what do you mean? And this is where I was quite confused because I think their brain wasn't working very well. They were like, "What do you mean by fighting?" I mean fighting. That's what I mean by fighting. I mean in the custom game, fighting, like we fight. We 1v1. And I don't even know what's the reason they asked that question. That was a very stupid question to ask, but of course I didn't say it was stupid in the game. But it was a very stupid question to ask. And then they said they don't like fighting. And then I said, "Are you a mainly support player?" And they said yes. Still summarizing. I don't remember exactly what happened or what was said, but I remember the summary of it, the conclusion. And so they didn't want to fight because I wanted to show them my skill. And I think I even said that. I said the reason I wanted to fight them was because I wanted to show them my skill. I wanted to see how good they were at Overwatch, and I wanted to show them my skill, which is completely understandable if they're talking about wanting to play competitive. But since this female didn't want to fight, I asked the other female that was the creator of the game. I asked them in the chat first. Did I ask them in the chat? Did I ask them in the chat first? Yeah, I think so. I think I did. Because did I ask them in the chat first? No, I did not actually. No, I did not. I asked them with my voice first because I was talking already and I simply wanted to know if they wanted to fight. They didn't even respond. And then their friend actually responded for them. And then I simply didn't say anything. I was basically saying it's okay. And I may have been saying their name wrong, and I know that now, and maybe that was contributing to the factor of them not liking me, but that is not my fault. Their name is weird. It had a 1 and a 3 in it. I'll say that. That's how weird it was. It had a 1 and a 3 in it. Numbers. It had numbers in it. And also, it's not like I'm supposed to know how to pronounce their name. So, if you're saying that's a factor, then you're an idiot. It should not be a factor. So they didn't respond. So I basically waited. They realized that their microphone was actually muted. They unmuted their microphone, said, "Oh, my microphone was muted. I didn't realize," basically. And so I asked them again after a little period of time of them talking. I asked them, would they like to fight? And I basically said because they didn't answer me before. Maybe I didn't say that. I don't remember. Did I say that? No, I don't think I said that. But it was because they didn't answer me before. So I said something about them not answering before. No, did I? Did I say something about that? I don't remember, but it's not important. I don't think it's important. Doesn't make any difference if I did. Doesn't mean I deserve them to not like me. It doesn't mean that, so it's not important. And also, all this time I was not talking in a loud voice. I was not saying things in a very aggressive way. I was talking extremely nicely and calmly to them. Exactly, I'm talking here. But even nicer, actually, because currently I'm actually talking in a more serious way. Before in the match, I was talking in a much more relaxed and friendly way. But I basically asked them again with my voice because now I know that their microphone's not muted anymore and they're talking, they're here. I wanted to get their answer to see if they wanted to fight me. So I asked them, "Would you like to fight me? Or do you want to fight? Or will you fight me?" I don't know, maybe I said something like that. Will you fight me? It was something like that. But they said again. They said again. Two stupid females. They said, "What do you mean?" What do you think I mean? I didn't say this. I didn't say this in the chat. But holy, are they stupid. I wasn't thinking this either. At that specific moment, I was not thinking this. I answered their question and told them I meant 1v1 and in this custom game. That's exactly what I said. I said, I'm talking about fighting me in the chat in the custom game and in this in a 1v1. But holy, are they stupid for even asking that question. I mean, what type of absolute retarded females are we having here that they need to ask about what do I mean by fight in a custom game? I'm talking to you in a custom game and I'm asking if you want to fight me. What do you think I mean by that? And basically what happened was after I specified what I was meaning to them, saying it was a 1v1, saying I wanted to fight in this custom game and simply to show my skill. I think I said show my skill. I don't know if I said I wanted to see how good they were too, but I may have. They basically said no, they don't want to fight. Or no, I think actually they didn't say no, they don't want to fight. Is that they said they don't know how to fight. They're usually like a mainly team player. They don't like 1v1ing or fighting someone 1v1, basically. It's like it's okay. I mean, but wow. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the reason that you're in platinum. Maybe so. If you don't even know how to fight, if you don't even want to test my skill to know if I'm a good player or not, then maybe that's the reason you're in platinum. And also, I'm not a competitive playing player. I don't play competitive. I play mainly custom games. But I am a very good player. I've played quick play countless times, and I've seen countless good players. I've seen countless good players in custom games, and I've destroyed most of them. No, actually, I've destroyed all of them. There's been like very few players that I can think of that actually have won against me. There's very few. There's like 1% of those players have actually won against me. Of course, in quick play, it's a bit more complicated because there's teams and everything, but whenever I'm in custom games, if someone 1v1s me, I always win. The chance of me winning is incredibly unlikely. I mean, I said that wrong. The chance of me losing is incredibly unlikely. But they did say that they were I asked them if they were a support player too, and they said yes, I think. But then they also talked later about playing tank. How about playing diva? So that's what I'm confused about here. Is why would you be afraid of fighting me if you played diva? And especially I was playing Hanzo. So that's the thing. I was playing Hanzo and they were playing diva. I mean, diva has a clear advantage on me, and diva would win a fight against a Hanzo any day with how much hit points that diva has, and how the factor of the booster that you can simply fly into a position and counter Hanzo's climbing. I would have 0 chance, but yet they didn't they didn't understand, and they didn't wanna fight me. I don't know, it's very stupid stuff, it really is. Females are extremely stupid people. Most of the times. Not every female is, but the average is horrendous. There's too many. There's too many stupid females, and it's really pathetic and sad. Because a lot of them act intelligent too. They're not intelligent, but then they act intelligent. Not because they are, but because males want them and they feel empowered by their other females too. Females like working together and empowering each other, yet they're all stupid. Not all, I say all, but you know what I mean. I did say what I meant already. I said all because the factor of females working together and being together more often is incredibly stupid. So basically, what I'm saying by all is I'm talking about those females that work together and are constantly friends, and friends mainly because they're females, not because they actually like each other or that they're actually benefiting from each other in an important way. They're simply there for each other being females. It's absolutely retarded because a person can affect you in a negative way. A female can affect you in a negative way. Even if you don't think that is true, it still can happen, and it happens a lot more than you think. I've seen countless females that are friends with other females, but that female is actually affecting them in a negative way. But they don't understand. They don't care as much because it's a female. But if it was a male, oh wow. Wow, that male is horrendous. And it's so obvious. And guess what? I'm gonna leave him on day one. The first 5 seconds, he's done. It's disgusting. And also, females are letting other females get way too close, and more lesbians are becoming of that. There are way more lesbians than there ever has been because females are letting other females get too near to them. And it's absolutely pathetic what's going on. I've never heard so much talk about pegging another male. And I don't think anyone in history ever has. If you know what pegging is, then I don't need to explain myself. But if you don't, then I'll explain it. It's basically putting a dildo inside a man's ass, a man's anus. It's basically like a strap-on dildo you put on a female, and yeah, the female is basically doing what the male should be doing, basically. That's what that means. I've never heard so much talk about it, and I've never seen so much garbage from that. Like recently, I was in a custom game, and there was this guy that was trying quite hard to get a female to get her attention, and the female was simply playing with him for a bit. They were both joking around. Well, I would say the guy wasn't joking around so much. He was simply trying to earn the female. He was trying to earn the female in a joking way, but the female was simply joking around with him, not caring that much. But what actually happened was the female went behind the male and said they were giving back shots to them. Now, let's be real and stop with the nonsense. That's not okay. I don't care if you think it's a joke. It's not okay. What type of nonsense is that? That doesn't make any sense. And it's showing that females are getting way too dominant, and it shows that males are getting way too submissive to even let that happen. Why are we letting females potentially talk about giving back shots to us? Back shots is when a male orgasms on the back of a female after sex or whatever. Females cannot even orgasm like males can. So you're an idiot. That person, that male that did that with that female, you're an absolute retard, and you deserve nothing. You don't deserve that female. It's pathetic. Holy, is it pathetic? That female doesn't deserve that male either. They both don't deserve each other because they're both wrong for doing what they did, for that male letting it happen, also for the female even doing that, for even trying to say something that stupid, for saying something that incredibly wrong. Even if it's a joke, it's not important. It's a terrible joke. What do you not understand about that? It is a terrible joke. You only think it is funny because it is stupid, and because your normalization to what is funny is incredibly wrong and doesn't make any sense, and also is weak. Because most of the males that are listening to this video now, if there's is even any, or any females listening to this, you're probably weak. You're probably a weakling, a pathetic person that jokes about the same garbage as them. It's pathetic. Males deserve better, and also females deserve better. That is the conclusion from what happened in that custom game. A female should not be doing that to a male, and a male should not be letting that happen. The main reason the male let it happen was because they were trying to appeal to the female to make them laugh, And the main reason the female did do that to the male is because they don't care. And they thought it was funny. And they thought it was interesting that the male was letting them do that. But it doesn't mean it's correct. Let's be real. It does not mean it's correct. It does not mean it makes sense. It does not mean it should have been done. It's not important how funny it is if it's stupid and wrong. If it's wrong, it's not important how funny it is. Or how funny you think it is. A good example of that is someone laughing at murder. If someone laughs at murder, what do you think? Do you think they're... And also, is an extreme example, but it's not a wrong extreme example. But it is a factor. It is, of course, the thing that they were doing was much less of a, not much less, but it was much more controlled and much less important. Of course, yeah, much less important. But if someone laughed at murder, let's say if someone watched someone get killed and they laughed at that, that's basically what I mean by if you laugh at something, if you think something is funny, it does not mean it's correct. That's what I mean. And it's the same thing for that custom game, for what they were doing, simply because you think it's okay and think it's funny and think it's a good thing, doesn't mean it is. And it isn't. It isn't a good thing. Because it shows the exact problems that I'm talking about in this video. That males are getting too submissive and females are getting too dominant. Males are letting females control too much and affect them too much. Not affect them too much, but they're letting them control too much. Males can have wants for females, that's okay, but females don't care enough about males. They don't care. They don't understand. They don't want to understand because they don't need to because of all these males submitting to them and doing what they want and appealing to them. Yes, there is differences in countries. There will be different females in different countries. They act differently. Currently, I'm in the United States, but it's not important because this applies to even those countries too. It is okay to want females. and to treat them as a female should be treated. But how a female should be treated is the exact question and the exact thing you should be thinking about currently. How does a female actually deserve to be treated? And I'm not talking about appealing to them. I'm not talking about being weak and submitting to what they want and submitting to whatever others want you to do. I'm talking about what is actually correct. Because a lot of people lack that. A lot of males lack that currently in our society. They don't actually know what is correct, and that's the exact reason a lot of them are confused and are going in the way of submitting to females and appealing to females. It's because they have nothing else to do. They don't have any other goals because they don't understand what their goal is supposed to be. And that's another reason I'm making this video to to give you your goal finally, to give you the correct goal. And don't think it's one thing in this video. Do not think it's one specific thing. I've said a lot. So if you want to know exactly what I mean by what you should do, then look through the video, think about things, and use many different things that I've said to your advantage to improve from. Don't use one thing. Don't say it being one thing. There's many things to think about. And there's a lot of lessons to learn, both for males and for females. Females need to learn their place, and males need to stop being so submissive and earn their place. Instead of simply appealing to the female to to get them, or acting in a way that others want you to act instead of how you actually should act. Everyone can't be like me, I understand that. Because then I would have to improve myself even further. Because I'm the type of person that does exactly what I say here. Everything I'm saying now, I want to understand it and improve from it, and also already be doing it. Of course, I don't mean everything I say here I want to already be doing it. I mean, I want to say what is correct. I want to say what is correct, and I want to understand myself even more so from this. It's not important what I'm already doing. In the factor of how important this is and how this can affect a lot of people and how this should affect more people because it's not simple that It's not simply that males are getting what they deserve and females are getting what they deserve. It needs to be improved. It's not perfect, so it's not important what I'm doing. But yes, I am doing a lot of the things that I've said in this video. I am improving myself from what I'm saying here, and I am thinking about these things when I am talking with others and when I'm with others, when I'm talking to females. I've barely ever talked to males, but I'm also thinking about those things when I'm hearing males. And if I ever do talk to them, I'm also thinking about these things, the factors of doing what's correct, not simply doing what is feels the best. I'm thinking about doing what's best, what is best, not what feels the best. So let's continue. So, as I was saying before, they said they play mainly support and tank, and they said they play diva. And basically after that, I didn't say much. And I didn't say anything actually. And so I simply stayed there a bit. I wasn't looking at them the whole time or anything like that. This entire time I was simply relaxing, looking literally at the ground or in the sky. Really. I wasn't looking at them, I wasn't staring at them, I wasn't making them uncomfortable in the way that you probably would think for them to treat me like this. Or maybe you're assuming that I was doing. I wasn't doing any of that. No. I was being very neutral and trying to give them what they deserved. Not because I wanted them to be mine, but because I wanted them to understand that I was a good person. So, what they did was that they decided that they didn't want to stay in this custom game anymore. I don't know what's the reason, but they decided they didn't want to stay in the custom game anymore. They left. They left in their little group. And then I was there thinking for a bit. I was going to ask them. I went to my friends list. I wanted to check if I could message them. I wanted to check. I wanted to message them basically, saying that I wanted to ask them the reason for them leaving because I didn't know it. They didn't say it. They simply decided to leave. So I wanted to ask them, and that's when I realized this female here removed me as a friend. They simply removed me as a friend. And I was confused and I was upset too because of the fact that it's very stupid how these females treat males. They didn't even say anything. They said nothing to me in the chat before they left. They said nothing about how I was not good enough or how I should be better. They did nothing about that. They did nothing. They didn't send me any messages. As you can see, this is all they sent me between the two periods that this is when I sent that first message to them, and then I was talking to them with my voice for that entire 30 minutes. I didn't send a single other message, and I simply talked to them a little bit with my voice. Like I said, a little bit. I did not talk much, and I did not even change the topic to anything else. So basically, what that means is they barely had any evidence to say I was a bad person, but they still said you're not good enough, basically. And that shows because of their reasoning here. And you'll see very soon. So let's start. I sent them another friend request because after some time I was thinking, why though? Why did you remove me? And also I wanted to know the reason, and also I wanted to potentially fix it if I could. If I could fix the reason for them removing me, I wanted to get another chance. So I I said this. I sent them another friend request. They actually surprisingly accepted it. And I said, I only wanted to know the reason for you removing me. Will you tell me that? Was it because of what I said before when you added me? I only wanted to show I could be your friend. Wow. That's crazy. I guess that makes them uncomfortable. I guess I'm a bad person for saying that. I guess so. No, I'm not, obviously. If you think I'm a bad person for saying that, you're an idiot. So, they said, "Hey, um, I had added because I forgot who you were for a bit. I usually only add people who I know pretty well, so I'd add." I don't even know what this is supposed to mean. So basically, what I said here was because they removed me. I was, like I said, I was a bit upset already. I knew it. They weren't giving me what I deserved. So basically, what I said here was to show that they were being stupid, and I was also saying I'm sorry to try to make them feel better, to try to make them more understanding of what I'm feeling, and also more understanding of my emotions and how I'm actually a person too. But no, they don't care. So I said, remove me if you want, but I'm only here to give you what you deserve. I'm sorry if you do not see that. They said, okay, have a nice day. Smiley face. So you don't care about me saying I want to give you what you deserve. You don't care because what? You don't understand it? Because you think that I'm weird for saying that because it's not normal for what you experience from other males. Is that the reason? Yeah. That's what I thought. How pathetic you are. They didn't even say anything. They just said, okay, have a nice day. That doesn't even make any sense. They said, "Hey, I added because I forgot who you were for a bit. I usually only add people who I know pretty well, so I added. So I add." So you're saying you made a mistake, but then you say that you want to do it anyways? What is that supposed to mean? So does that mean you're lying? Does that mean you lied previously? It does, obviously. It means you lied before because now you're doing it again once I added you as a friend again. And that's what I asked. I said, "Are you going to remove me?" They said, "Yes, sorry." And I say, "Why?" And they say, "I already told you. I don't know you very well. Sorry." What is that supposed to mean? What do you mean you don't know me very well? You wanted friends. You're not supposed to know them very well. If you wanted friends, if you wanted new friends, then you're not supposed to know them very well. That's the whole reason of getting new friends is to know them more later. If you give them more of your attention. And then I said, "Oh, I see." Because I said, they said, they unadd people because they don't know them. That's the reason I said, "Oh, I see," because I was trying to understand them and show that I was understanding. And it does make some sense trying to unadd people that you don't know, but then it doesn't make any sense from the fact that obviously you're not going to know people that are new. If you want to make new friends, they're going to be new, so you're not going to know them. So I said, "Then what did you expect when you were asking for friends? You obviously wouldn't know them well." And then they say, "To get to know them, but I made some friends already, so I'm good. Have a good day or have a good night or day. Bye bye." And they're putting these little stupid faces on the messages. So what are you saying exactly? Are you saying that you found people that are better than me and you want to focus on them instead of me? Because what was the whole reason you even accepted my friend request if you already had more than enough friends already? So what basically is going on here? It's either they actually did find friends that are better than me, or they're simply lying. And I don't mean actually better than me, of course. I mean they think they're better than me. But it's either that or they're lying and trying to simply remove me as a friend because they think I'm weird. They think I'm an idiot. They think I'm not deserving of them, not deserving to know them more. To get to know them, but I made some friends already, so I'm good. Uh, but you're not trying to know me though. And like I said, it doesn't make any sense. You're not trying to know me. And also, if you said you made friends already, then why did you even accept my friend request? And why during the entire period of us talking in the game did you not say that you already found friends and that you don't need more or you don't want more? Why there during that entire period you didn't say anything and now you want to say it in chat? You don't make any sense. And then you put these stupid faces like you're cute. Like you deserve to put these faces or you deserve to act cute when you're clearly not giving me what I deserve and you're being an idiot when a male does not deserve it. I did nothing wrong. I only try to give you what you deserved. And then you're putting these cute faces, these stupid faces, acting like it's a joke, or acting like it's entertaining for you to do this, to treat me as I don't deserve, and to do these things that make zero sense. You think it's okay to make no sense and to be an idiot? No, it isn't. It's also not okay to act like an idiot when you're trying to leave, too. Have a good night or day. Bye bye. Why would you even say bye bye like that? And why are you trying to leave so fast? If you cared about me at all, you would not be trying to leave so fast. And I didn't even get the chance to say anything else because they had already removed me so fast. It's so pathetic. It's pathetic. And these females are empowered to keep treating males like this because they don't need to be better. Society has already shown that they do not need to be better. Males have already shown that they do not need to be better because males are incredibly weak currently. So, here's what I said. I said, then you should do the same for me. You accepted my friend request, so you shouldn't have accepted it if you already had friends. So that doesn't make sense. If you are uncomfortable for me, you should simply say it. Besides, I am worth you trying to know me. But it seems my first message made you think otherwise. You're wrong, though. If you think I am doing this because of me trying to make you mine, you are wrong. I'm doing this to give you what you deserve. And that is true. Like I said before, I wasn't doing this to make the females mine. I was only doing this to give them what they deserve, and of course, if they wanted to be mine from that, then that's even better. But it wasn't fully about that. It wasn't mainly about that. It's simply an extra thing on top. If I can also give them what they deserve, but also make them mine, then obviously that's what I deserve. That's what I deserve for my reward. If I give them what they deserve, then they should be mine. It's completely understandable, but I wasn't doing it mainly because of that. Or I say mainly, but the thing is, it wasn't at all because of that, because it was to give them what they deserved. And that includes potentially making them mine, but that wouldn't be the main focus. Giving them what they deserve, especially at that period, at that time, I was literally only wanting to basically play with them and have them have a good time and be happy, and also to understand them and try to improve them, to talk to them and improve them, help them with their life, and maybe they could make me happy too. Well, they would make me happy, definitely, of course. It's quite easy to make a male happy because females don't need to do much, because they don't do much anyways. So it's quite easy. And I said, I'm doing this to give you what you deserve. As I said, that is the only reason. I like making females happy to understand themselves more, and that's not a bad thing. It's not complicated. If you think it is, you are the one making it complicated. And that's very true. That's what I've been saying this whole time. If you think this is complicated, you're simply making it complicated. It's not complicated at all. But the reason I have to say some of these things is because a lot of these females have their thoughts. They don't need much information to decide if they like someone or not. And then they act on that, which is either to remove you or to keep you, or to simply keep you and dislike you. So I said this because I said some of these things because of that, to to show I understood some of those thoughts they were having about me, but that they were actually wrong to have those thoughts, because what I am saying is not complicated or wrong. It is only to give you what you deserve, and only to do what is correct. That is the only purpose of what I'm saying here. So after that, I said it's sad how you treat a male, especially someone that deserves your attention the most. You don't understand because you don't care to understand. You can make as many male friends as you want, but I cannot make as many female friends as I want. And it's very true. It's very true. And that's the huge difference between males and females, is that they don't understand that a female does not understand what a male feels because they don't care enough to understand. Because they're getting exactly what they want. They're getting what they deserve. Not what they deserve. I mean, they're getting what they want, what they think they deserve, but not what actually is correct. Cleaning something off my desk. That's what those noises are. And it is true that it's not so simple to make friends with a female. People may think it's easier for them because they like to appeal to females and they feel it's okay. They feel it's easy in a way. But yeah, it's not easy when you're not an idiot and you're not appealing to them and you're not doing exactly what they want. It's not easy. And you're not following the herd of sheep like everyone else. And even then, it's not so simple because then you have to be different, or you simply have to be the only one giving them attention so that they focus on you and don't see a better option. And the fact is, males do not deserve to be ignored because of them not following the herd, of them not following the other sheep, the and being how every other male is, being average. Males do not deserve to be treated as if they're not as important as those other males, simply because the female doesn't understand or doesn't simply because the female isn't normalized to that. Females should be more intelligent and more innovative than how they are currently. They're really stuck in the past of males doing what they want and having all of their emotions align then to make the male or the female like the male. I mean, you can already see this is what happened. So that during this entire period, we sent like 5 messages, and she decided that not only am I not better than their other friends, but or somewhat like that, but they needed to remove me as a friend twice. They removed me as a friend twice. So I barely got to say anything, and they either had better friends than me and thought that I was not as good, or they were lying, like I said. And basically, they said those things simply to make excuses and to not say what is actually true, to prevent me from saying more, to try to prevent me from saying more. Because they like to hide. They like to hide their little emotions, except when they don't, and that's when males either don't say anything or say something, and they're either wrong. The male is either wrong or they're either correct, and then they don't get the female because of it. The female is like, "Oh, I'm gonna defend myself because I'm correct. Obviously, I'm always correct." Most of the females are like that. There are some females that aren't. There are. But the thing is, I'm saying most of them aren't because I'm talking about serious topics like this. Like, if I were talking to a female about a serious topic like this, I can almost, it's almost 99% chance that they would try to argue with me about it. And they wouldn't think about anything I'm saying now. It's almost a 99% chance. That's why I say that. That's the reason. Not because what I'm saying is actually wrong, but because what I'm saying simply goes against what they believe and what they've been normalized to. What you believe does not mean it's correct. So you should not argue if it is not correct. But this is what I said. But I cannot make as many female friends as I want, and that is very true. Because, like I said, a lot of the females simply don't understand, especially someone like me. I am way too intelligent for most females. Yeah, for most females. And not only that, is that most females don't even want to give me the chance because I'm not like the other stupid males that say such stupid things to try to get the female. It is that simple. And yet they think that's a negative. They find that as a negative instead of a positive. But you see, a female does not have that same problem. If they are special, if they're different, they're not as punished for it because of them being a female. And males want to be there for them, anyways. If a female wants attention from males, then the chances are they will get that attention even if they don't deserve it. Or even if they haven't even tried for it, haven't worked for it. Because they're a female. And females are known for not working for things like males do. Some males assume that. Males are not looking for that when they see a female, when they hear a female trying to get attention. They do not think, oh, what has this female done to deserve it? Like females do, because that's exactly what females do. If a male does the same thing, the chances of them, chances of, and we could probably do a test of this, like a straight test. If a male says the exact same things that a female does, how many males is that female going to get versus how many females the male is going to get? And I bet the female is going to get much more males than the male getting females. Because females think about what has this male done to deserve it? What is the reason I'm going to this male to give them a chance? Why is it like that? That is the question. I've explained why it is like that. It's because males are idiots and females are idiots too. But females are okay being idiots. That is the reason. Because females don't need to be intelligent, because the job for males is to be dominant and is to be intelligent. And it is to overcome those difficult things. That's the whole point of being a male, is to be better than females and to protect females. Of course, not only that, there's many other factors you can say for the purpose of a male, but I'm talking about the primal things about male and female. You know what's interesting? Females like being dominant currently in society. That's the normal. Females are way too dominant, but whenever you have sex with them, they're still so incredibly submissive. And so, what does that show? Does that show that females should be dominant otherwise when they're not having sex? When you're not having sex with them? Or does that show that males should be dominant? I would say it shows that males should be more dominant than females. And not only that, females are, oh, not females, but males are designed to dominate females. Males are on average stronger. They're meant to be stronger. And most females like a dominant male. It's simply about those outliers. Those outliers are a problem. And even if the female likes a dominant male, the outliers affect that female, and also it doesn't mean that female even does everything correct or is correct. It doesn't mean that. Even if a female likes a dominant male, they can still be an absolute retard, like this female here. And they could even make a mistake when a good male appears and tries to give them an attention and what they deserve. I am the most dominant male there is. And it's not important what you think because I control myself. So I don't need to appeal to you and give you evidence. I'm already giving you evidence during this entire video, but I'm the most dominant male. And a lot of males, even if they don't say that, or even if they don't show they are, they want to feel dominant. They want to feel competitive. They want to feel progress in being better. Not only than females, but better than other males. Males are designed for this. They are absolutely designed for this since the history, since humans have existed. Males have been the main competitive force. It hasn't been females, it's been males. So do not argue with me about this because you're wrong. There's literally nothing you can say to say I'm wrong and have it make sense. Nothing. Or have it make any more value in saying it than what I have said. Maybe it'll make sense, but it doesn't mean it has any more value than what I have said. from the fact of males being dominant throughout all of our history, I would say is more than enough evidence to say that males should be more dominant than females. And if you think otherwise, you're basically a modern person that has become weak because of this society and this environment. If you think otherwise, it's because of your environment. And also because we have gotten too weak in dealing with these types of people, the people like you who are incredibly weak. We've gotten weak to dealing with them. In the past, we would basically kill them, or the females would not want them, or you simply wouldn't make it anywhere in life if you thought this way. But now you can do basically whatever you want. You earn money, do whatever. You don't really have to appeal to any males that are better than you, basically. The the levels of respect and understanding of males and understanding of how good a male can be and how good a good a male is, how good males are and is, has decreased significantly. And so people can basically do whatever they want because they don't have to appeal to any male, or they don't have to compete with any male. There is competition. I know that. I said there is competition. There is some type of competition, but it is so pathetic the type of competition we have today. It's simply a bunch of people saying nonsense and then combating other people's nonsense. That's literally all it is. That's the competition we have today with males. One male says something stupid and the other male says something stupid back. Or maybe that one male says something intelligent, but then the other male says something stupid back. And then somehow females think that male that says something stupid all the time is somehow correct. Or says something stupid all the time is somehow the better person, the better male. So competition today is absolutely pathetic. And not only is it absolutely pathetic online, but it's also absolutely pathetic in real life too. Because males are so incredibly submissive and weak. They don't even understand how to dominate anyone anymore. They don't even understand how to fight anymore. I'm not talking about physically fighting. I mean fighting by saying what's correct, giving someone what they deserve. They only understand how to fight with insults and whatever slang they want to use, whatever society says is correct instead of what actually is correct. They don't care about what is correct. A lot of the males today do not care about what is actually correct. All they care about is what society says is correct. They don't care about common sense. Common sense has been has been lacking a lot in a lot of people and a lot of the males. They don't use common sense, and some of the reasons that a lot of females don't like males. But then they also don't use common sense to try to help males from exactly like this nonsense like this. So you don't reward me for being good. So what do you want then? You want me to be an idiot like all the other males? Oh, I see. So you're contradicting what you want. You hate males because they're an idiot, but yet you don't reward good males. So, wow, what a surprise. You're an idiot too. And the thing is that if a male is stupid, it's almost guaranteed that the female is more stupid. Not every time, there is a lot of factors to consider here, but like I said, males are supposed to be better than females, and that includes being more intelligent. There are a lot of males that are so stupid today, and that are actually less intelligent than females, which is incredibly pathetic. And of course, there are females that are special and that are more intelligent than majority of other males, but males are meant to be better than females, and on average, they are. Even in this stupid society, on average, they are. Even this pathetic society, they are. So let's continue. I said, but I cannot make as many female friends as I want, not because I lack intelligence, but because females act irrational and stupid like you have. And the reason I am saying this is because of that. I want to give you what you deserve, even if you don't like it. That is incredibly true. And that's what I meant this entire time is I don't want to simply give them what they deserve, meaning I want to give them everything they want. I want to give them what they deserve, even if it is something they think is wrong, even if you don't like it. You should improve yourself. I don't even know if you can see these messages, but you should be able to. I hope you do. I like being able to actually talk instead of being silenced by your little friend removing. You barely even tried to know me. You didn't even try, yet you talk about trying for others like I am worse. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Absolute garbage. And they said, to get to know them, but I made some friends already, so I'm good. So you're saying I'm worse, basically. Yeah, okay. Great. Thank you for that. Absolute retard. You are oblivious. To get to know them, but I made some friends already, so I'm good. It's such a stupid message. It really is. It's so completely oblivious of what I deserve and what I'm feeling and what you should be saying to me. So I'm good. Yeah, but I'm not. How about that? I'm not good. How about that? I'm not okay with what you're doing here. So how about that? But you only care about how you're feeling. So that makes sense. That makes perfect sense actually. You're simply selfish, a selfish female like all the others. Yeah, I understand. And then I say, and then you act as if it's simply okay to treat me like you chose them instead of me. Like I'm simply going to be okay with that. You're wrong because I'm better and I always will be. Putting little faces on your message, such putting little faces on your messages. Such nonsense. Females want males to talk to them how they like so much, but they forget how to talk to a male and give them what they deserve. Females want what they think they deserve, but females want what they think they deserve. You don't understand how to give a male what they deserve. You only think you do because of all the weak males you've met. You don't have skill at understanding males. You have experience with idiots that appeal to you and act like you. It's pathetic, and males deserve better than this, both from you and from themselves. I'm sorry if you think I'm insane or an idiot, but I am not. I can explain all of this more, but you probably won't give me the chance to. And then I didn't say anything for some time because I was basically done. But then I was thinking, I want them to see this message. I want them to talk to me, or not talk to me, but at least see it and have some type of reaction, even if it's a bad reaction. I want them to simply see it. Because even if it's a bad reaction, it's still good that they're seeing this. But doesn't seem they did, and I'm making this video to ensure that it gets seen in some way. It has the ability to get seen because it should be seen. This is pathetic how males are being treated by females. It really is. It's so pathetic. And so I said, I'll make you see them by sending you another friend request. That's all I did. I sent them one more friend request and I was done. And I said, if you don't accept, then I won't send you another one. I won't send another one. I only want you to see my messages, even if you dislike me more from them. You deserve it. Okay, so I sent them one friend request. They did not even accept it. I don't know if they even realized I sent them the friend request or that I sent them even any of these messages. I don't even know if I can see these messages since they unfriended me, but I wanted to say this because it's very important because they treated me incredibly wrong, and this shows the exact problem that a lot of females are doing today, and it's absolutely pathetic. That's the reason I'm making this video is because they don't care. Um, they don't care. But I said all of this to them. They don't care though. And so it's basically not useless. It's not useful to them. It's completely useless in the fact that no one else is going to see this unless I make this video. So that's the reason I'm making it, to try to get some use from this. To try to get someone to understand. If even one person understands this, then that's great. That's good progress. I would like to I would like to know what they understand about this. They probably won't agree with everything, but I would like to know what they understand about all the things I've said. And I didn't send a single other friend request. So I sent them 3 friend requests in total. The first one, they accepted. I sent my one message. The second one I sent when they removed me as a friend. The third one now is simply to make them try to see my messages, to see these messages that I've sent because they deserve this. And also, I want to make people understand that they are doing what's wrong. And this is one of the best ways to do it because I'm not having nonsense people talking to me all the time, acting like I'm wrong, because this is exactly what would happen if I tried to talk into a match chat and try to talk about this. There'd be every single person in the lobby saying I'm wrong, and then no one would be able to have their own thoughts because that one person saying, well, not every single person, it could be one person saying I'm wrong, and then those other people would follow along because they're all a bunch of sheep. They're all sheep. They all listen to one person, and they all listen to what they're normalized to. It's not important. They don't care if I'm correct. They care about what they think is correct. And they're not actually listening to what I'm saying. And also they care about the people that are most important to them. So for example, if some guy was to talk to me about how it was wrong and he had a friendship with someone else in the game, then they would probably agree with him. Not because of him actually being correct, but because of them being friends with them. So it's simply not worth my time to try to do this in a match with a bunch of people because there's always going to be the retard talking to me in the chat and I'm not going to be able to actually say what I want to say. Because these people don't want to hear me. They're not listening either. And those people that don't want to hear me, if they say anything at all, it's going to affect what the other people are thinking. So I'm making a video now, and this is the best way to display what I'm thinking. If you say in the comments now that I'm an idiot and you don't agree with what I'm saying, I've said this before at the start. If you say I'm an idiot, you're simply an idiot because this is purely for the better of males. So if you say I'm an idiot, you're simply an idiot. You can say you don't agree with what I'm saying and give me reasons for it. But if you try to insult me or say things that are negative, then you're simply an idiot. And I said that especially for females. Females should not be talking negatively at all because females do not deserve it. Do not deserve it. They're getting too much already. So you should not be talking about what is best for males. We have tried to cater to you. Males have tried for thousands of years. We've been trying to please you for so long. And it's gotten too far. Because you are not giving us what we would deserve anymore. We are not getting what we deserve anymore. And there will be males that I think there will be males that no, I know there is. There is males that will agree with this, but there's also males that will absolutely disagree with this, saying that, "Oh, we're getting exactly what we deserve." Yeah, sure you are, buddy. You're getting exactly what you deserve. You're getting rewarded for being an idiot. Okay, I understand. And then all the males that are intelligent and treat a female like I did here are getting nothing. Like I said, I've been dealing with this for such a long time, so don't act like I have zero reason for this. I've encountered countless females that treat me exactly like this because they don't understand me. It's not because I'm worse, it's because they don't understand me. And they don't care about understanding me and because of how our current males are and how females think they can do whatever they want and get whatever male they want. And they don't actually even understand what the best male is. They don't even understand it. They don't because they're simply going with society. They're going with what everyone else thinks is the best male, what everyone else shows is the best male, not what actually is the best male. And that's okay because that's not their job. Their job is not to show what the best male is. That's the male's job to show what the best male is, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. It's simply that males are letting these females treat males like this and act like they know what the best male is when they don't. It's not their job. Their job is not to know what the best male is. The male's job is for that. But males aren't doing it in the correct way at all. They're not. Because all they're doing is appealing to females, which is completely wrong. Completely wrong. They're doing things that are purely to make the female like you, like the male. They are doing things purely to make the female like them. and that is completely wrong. It's sad. I'm gonna make this video, and basically what's gonna happen is maybe I'll get some comments, maybe I won't. But I feel better. Seriously, this has been a good thing for me. I'm gonna feel amazing from this. It's gonna make me feel really good because of the fact that I've done what I can. I've done what I should do, and maybe I'll consider doing more in games and talking to females and things like that. I am trying to perfect myself still, trying to be the best, and I want to give females what they deserve. But you see, it's quite difficult when they have these preferences and such stupid things. So I basically can't even give them what they deserve because they don't even let me give them what they deserve. Because they already decide before I even talk to them more to give them what they deserve. So that's what's quite interesting. And that's what I need to perfect more is that I need to perfect not appealing to them, but doing what is correct, but also making them like me and giving me the chance. Not appealing to them, not doing what they want, not following the herd and the society and being a sheep, not being a sheep, and not doing what everyone else wants you to do, but actually doing what's correct, but also making them interested and making them like me, so then I can give them what they deserve later. Yeah, it's difficult, I know. And a lot of males don't even think about stuff like this, like I do. That's the exact reason a lot of them they would talk and talk and talk about how I'm wrong. Yeesh, such retards. They will talk and talk and talk about how I'm wrong, but they won't talk and talk about how I could be correct. Because they don't think about how I could be correct because they want to defend their actions and their thoughts and what they've decided to do all their life. They want to defend themselves. That's how females work too. Whenever you say something that challenges their beliefs, their core beliefs or things that are affecting them in a very important way, they're going to try to defend themselves. Even if they're not making any sense, even if you're proving them completely wrong, they will still say nonsense and say, "Oh, I'm correct and you're not." Even though they don't give any thought to what you're saying. And they simply keep going with their little the same way they keep thinking. They keep going with it. And they actually use that to try to make you seem like you're wrong. They actually use that in their reasoning for you being wrong. People lack a lot of consideration in today, in the current times, in the current society. People lack a lot of consideration for what they're doing, for what they're thinking, for what they're motivated by, for what they're pleased by. And it's not going to get better unless males do what's difficult. And yes, what I'm saying now will be difficult to do, especially if other males don't do it. Like, say I make this video and every single person in the world does better. It'll be easier to do more. It'll be easier. But it simply isn't gonna happen that way. The only way it can happen is that a few people do better, and those few people will be struggling quite a bit with making people understand too. That's it. That's how it has to be. But it is worth it to get what is correct, to give people what they deserve, to give females what they deserve, and to give other males what they deserve too. Go through my video, look at what I've said again, and think. Do not simply talk in the chat, in the comments. And you better have watched the entire video before you say anything. If you have not, then you should not be saying anything. Because I know this is a serious topic, and I know this is a difficult topic for people to talk about, and something that a lot of people will initially disagree with. So that is the exact reason I want you to think more and give it some time and give it a little bit of thought process, because this has affected me significantly throughout my entire life that I've been online. I've been online for since I was like 9 when I got my Xbox 360. I've been online and I've been dealing with this type of garbage from females. And it's gotten worse. Of course, I've gotten much more intelligent and I've changed a lot. So yes, it has gotten worse in that way, but it's gotten even worse. Even if I didn't get more intelligent and didn't change a lot, it's gotten even worse anyways. Males can absolutely do what they need to do. They can absolutely do what is correct. It's simply about, are you motivated to? And there's a lot of factors affecting your motivation. There's the water you drink, there's the food you're eating, there's the body type you have, there's the understanding of what you think is correct and what you actually are doing in life to motivate you. So there's a lot of factors to consider that if you even want to change yourself and to actually do better and to actually think about these complicated things. So don't think simply because you understand something or you are a way that you currently are and you've found it to work countless times and only a few times has it not worked, that you're actually doing everything you can and doing everything you should do. And you are doing everything perfectly and you're being the best human you can be, because it does not mean that. There are still factors to consider, like the water you're drinking, like the food you're eating, like your motivation, and like what people you're talking to, and what your environment has given you, and what air you're breathing. Is it safe air? Is it polluted air? Is it affecting your brain in some way? Are you slowly getting cancer in your brain? Are you slowly getting cancer in your lungs? It's all factors, and it all affects how you think. So think more skillfully instead of experienced. Experiencely? Yeah, we'll say that's a word. I've made it a word now. And experiencely. Experiencedly? Interesting. Less skillfully and more no, more skillfully and less experiencedly. I'll say that. Use your skill more instead of your experience because your experience is not what makes something correct. Your skill makes it correct. Your innovation makes it correct. And your common sense makes it correct. Not whatever science tells you. You don't need to rely on science for everything. You don't need to rely on others for everything. And if you do, you're never going to know if it's correct because others say it is. You're never really going to know if it's correct. You will have some reasoning, but it doesn't mean you will know. Here's what you should do. You should use your common sense first, and if it's something that well, yeah, you should use your common sense first, really. You should use your common sense first and then try to basically use science to verify your common sense. Not to verify it, but to reinforce it. That's what I meant to say. Or to reinforce it. But even if science does not reinforce it, you should still trust your common sense and your logic and your understanding. Because science, at least currently science is based a lot about numbers and a lot of things that doesn't mean that it's actually correct or that it's actually proof of it being the best way or the way it actually is. Like for example, black holes. Black holes are known for supposedly having a singularity at the center of them. That's based on science, but I say it's complete nonsense. That's what I say. What I think black holes are is they're simply masses that are so incredibly dense and also not incredibly dense, but they have such a magnetic field that the light simply cannot escape once it comes in. But it does not mean it's there's nothing there. There actually is mass there. There actually is a material there. There is something there. It's not singularity where there's you go into some type of infinite dimension or infinite deepness or anything like that. It's actually like a normal planet or like any type of massive object in space, like an asteroid or like a star or like a planet. It's circular. But the thing is, its mass is so incredibly dense and also and so incredibly high that light cannot even escape that once it enters that certain point. It does not mean it doesn't mean once you go inside of a black hole that you cannot escape because light I believe light has a mass And even though a lot of people don't think it does, and it doesn't make any sense how a black hole could even affect it if it doesn't have a mass. So, light has a mass. It simply moves incredibly fast, so it basically has a higher mass, and basically, it's very difficult to catch it and to control it into a way like that, like a black hole does, where it can actually bend light. It can make it travel in a very weird way. It can make it bend, and eventually it'll come down and hit the surface of what is actually inside the black hole. So that's the type of thought process I'm talking about. Simple common sense and logic, which a lot of people should use more of instead of what they feel is correct. Because what is correct is not about what you feel, it is about what makes the most sense.